Hey y'all, and welcome to the Max. I wanted to give y'all a quick update of what's going on around here, and I wanted to let y'all know what we're about to do because it's pretty exciting. So here are a couple of updates. My incubators are slowly getting stocked with American breast eggs. Now they have actually slowed up laying some. They fluctuate from, I was getting 5 to 4 out, then they dropped down to about 3 eggs, and there has been a couple of days I've only actually got 1 egg out at a time. So I'm still collecting those for my incubators. That in itself is just kind of work in progress. As far as the trespasser goes in the barn, we have not had any more problems. Now, Hattie Mae did something a little unusual and followed me into the barn a couple of days in a row. I don't know why she did that. I really didn't think it was her, but we have not had any more trouble with the chickens. She goes in, she does not bother them, so it very easily could have been something that slipped in just that one time. We just didn't catch it, and it hasn't come back or hasn't been able to get back into the door, but we haven't had any more problems there. And we are still fighting this Facebook thing. Y'all saw the video where I exposed what was going on. I'm still continuing to send in case reports on the page and reporting. That's my page that I have had basically stolen from me. So I'm going to keep you guys updated there. If you guys follow us on Facebook on the Max page, please go unfollow that page until we can get access to control that page again, because right now we are not in control of what they're posting, and we sure don't want anybody to be scammed by these people. So please go unfollow that page. If you were following us on the Max on Facebook, please go unfollow that. What are we doing today, y'all? Why are we going to move them, Jennings? Do you know? You don't. Are you pretty excited? I'm kind of excited.
I know you are, because you're not the one milking all these millions of dairy cows every day.
Well, we're not milking them right now,
I know,
so.
true. But we are trying to weed out what we don't want and see what the strongest ones are. So we're going to check them for being A2 milk. Not that it's a big deal, but since we have them here, we're going to go ahead and see which ones have that line.
Yes, so we are actually, this should be real fun because the 3 new ones have not been anywhere but the field that they're in. But what we're going to do, you can see them, they're right down here. I have 3 over there. We have 1 over there, and then there's 1 right behind that tree. So what we're fixing to do with them is walk them across to this gate. We're gonna walk them into this field, and then we've got to get all of them up there in the cattle chute. We're gonna run them in 1 at a time. That's the plan. We're gonna, hopefully that works out. Then we are going to get a couple of hairs out of each girl's tail, and we are gonna be mailing that off for them to do genetic testing on the cows. And basically we just want to know if their milk is A2, which just simply means, for someone that may not understand what that actually means, much more easily digestible. So since we know we have all of these cows, we're just going to test and see. We really want to know just who's going to be producing what milk, so we can kind of go from there. Because right now we're going to have all 5 of these girls at least for several more months. But just to kind of give us an idea, do we have any of them, or any of them A2 or not? So here we go, y'all. Have to kind of build like a human bridge, human gates, and you'll see us do that, especially for the ones that are not used to being around here. And hopefully none of them decide to get crazy and run off, because that is not what we want.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment.
I'm all in. They really didn't want to go in this section. They moved over well, but we got them all in. Now we're supposed to send them 1 by 1 up through here, and we're gonna get some hairs from the tail. We'll send them back out in the field and then walk them back over.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. 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 know how much I love you. I put your favorite song on just to.
All right, that was a little bit easier than expected. Well, now we've got to get them back across. So instead of using dogs, we use ourselves. We're just gonna go back down here and form another little human gate. Now they're back in where they are supposed to go. What do you think? How is that moving 3 of them that's never been moved here before?
It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it's good because they were following the leader, so it worked out really nice.
Yeah. And see, they're used to, especially those 3 where they come from, they're used to being in big dairy herds, so they don't really have a choice but to follow the leader. They just kind of run with all the other cows, which really works in our benefit that they've been trained to be like that. And Josie, because she is our oldest milk cow, she's moved every piece of property here, so she knows where the gates are, especially this being her most familiar area because that's where we milk. So she knows exactly where to go. She follows the bucket, so it really did help out tremendously that they literally just followed the leader. We got the hair from the tails that we needed. So now we're going to be able to send those off and find out if any of those are A2 cows, and that's very exciting. Like Colby mentioned, not that it's that big of a deal, but we will be able to know if we have an A2 cow, just because their milk is a little bit easier to digest when they don't have that protein in their milk. But for us, it really doesn't matter that much because we've always drank our cow's milk and we'll always drink our cow's milk. We actually do have a very high chance of at least one of those being A2. So I'm excited to find out. There will be some upcoming news that we'll share with y'all. So we've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we had Big Red separated. Y'all saw our pigs last time. Keeping It Dutch was here. We were down in the pig forest and we had our pigs separated because we did not want our mama pigs to be back rebred by Big Red, because that meant that we were gonna have winter babies and we were trying to avoid that and shoot more for spring. So about 3 months from now, we would have put them together. They would have had spring babies because they stay pregnant for 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. But we had a little bit of a mishap. We thought that the boar was gonna be the problem because we knew that the females were gonna be back going into heat. He is so big, we thought that he was gonna break down the fence to try to get back with the females. Come, y'all come. But that was not the case. Actually, Oreo, the black and white one, broke a part of the fence to get in with him. I was leaving one day and I know that he rebred her, and that means the middle of December we're gonna be having piglets again, which is not what we wanted. So this is the good news. Everybody's here today. We're headed down to the pig forest. We are going to try to separate them out again, refix that fence, and secure up and tie any loose ends, and hopefully they won't break it again. We are going to eventually come in and build a second cross fence to give them a nice section apart so that they're not able to get close enough to touch each other. And we're hoping that between the double fencing, we won't have winter babies anymore, because it's really hard when you have winter babies. Not the fact that the mamas can't take care of the piglets when it gets really cold. The problem is when it rains and it's really cold. This is what we ran into last year. We had an Arctic blast come through right before the week of Christmas. Sure enough, that was the week that our mama piglets wanted to have all her babies. I felt like she could have kept them plenty warm under some hay and they would have been fine. The problem was that it absolutely flooded. So the hay was wet, the ground was wet, the piglets would have been wet, and they were really, really little, which means they were really, really fragile. So having a high in Mississippi of 20 degrees with wet newborn piglets just was not a great idea. So we are headed down to the pig forest now to see if we can get that fixed and taken care of, because our other problem is the female pigs our mamas had. We had 18 babies and 15 of them were females. Y'all, I ain't never 15 females, and obviously they're 3 months old now. In the next 2 months or ish, they will be able to be rebred, and we cannot let him breed all those females. You're talking about being in a mess. We would be overrun by piglets, so we have to fix that right now. Hey, big.
You can definitely tell he's not just American. He's not. Yeah.
We're good.
Is that his brothers or cousins?
Are you trying to eat my hand?
It probably smells that popsicle.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten the fence fixed and we've kind of maneuvered this gate around, but our problem currently is this big hole. So we really need to do two things. We really need, since the mamas are already rebred, we're gonna put our boar and those mamas that are already rebred back over on this side of the fence, and we needed to wean off the piglets. We were gonna leave them on this side of the fence, but the piglets are still so small that they can go under that gate. So now we're gonna have to fill that with rock, which makes it a little bit more complicated. We wanted to knock all of this out today, but we can't get the rock in there today. So it's kind of like we just kind of get everything set up, and really we're just kind of at a standstill because it's not gonna do any good to move the boar and the mamas over there when the piglets can go back and forth. But we mostly need to keep him separated from the piglets, especially in the next 2 months, because we cannot have him rebreeding all of those piglets back. Now, one of the 15 females has already gone to new pasture, and the couple of males that we have are already gone. And one of the males we're keeping intact for us. The other females are still here, which they also need to go. Since they're here right now still, our biggest thing is trying to make sure that he doesn't get to them so he can breed them, because that would not be good at all. 3 boys and 2 girls off of that set, right?
Correct.
And they're finally getting weaned. They're little butterballs. They really needed to be weaned.
Yeah.
But what happens if we have to keep all them?
We're gonna have a lot of lard in the next couple few months and years.
Are you hot? Are you hot? Yeah.
Are you nasty?
Yeah, I am.
You got dirt on your face. You been outside?
Yeah.
You hot?
Yeah.
What's Daddy doing? What's he doing?
More down.
Moo cow. That's not a moo cow. What's he doing? The pigs?
Yeah.
Is he giving them water?
Yeah.
Yeah. They will get mad when they don't have some water down here, and they will literally dump their whole container of water over just for some water. So we have to literally ratchet strap it up so that they won't knock over their water. How to make these little waters, we have a whole video. This is a food grade plastic barrel that we fill up. It's huge, so it helps keep from having to fill up water so frequently, unless they dump the water over. We have a whole video on that we can link so you guys can see how we handle our pig waters. Well, we were able to get all of our chores done for today. We got a lot done, from getting the samples from the cows to running pigs in different places where they needed to go. The only thing we have to do is separate those couples that we told you and fill those places with rocks so that we won't have a problem with all of those females being rebred. We did some actual cleanup work in the back too, hence the reason why I'm so hot and sweaty now. And we were able to separate the American guinea hogs from their mom to let them wean. So we actually got a lot done today. I wish there was this thing called smell-o-vision, because if you see our smoker is up and running. We are having a family night for the rest of the night. Relax, hang out by the pool. I'm not gonna swim tonight, but the kids are all in the pool. This is just kind of be like our downtime. Days like today where we put in a full day of hard work, and it pays off because we're able to load that grill with things that we raise, like our ribs, our pork chops, our sausage. We're doing hamburgers, a roast.
Everything.
What else did we say we were putting on the grill tonight?
We are putting pork chops, roast. We put a brisket on.
Ribs, sausage, and hamburgers.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So it sounds like a lot, and it really is a lot of food, but usually, that's right, usually what we do on Fridays is,
Chicken too.
yeah, and smoked chicken, I forgot about that. But then that feeds all of us all weekend long, so it's just kind of a way to cook it all together at one time. So I wish there really was smell-o-vision, because even though nothing is on there right now, it still smells really good. But we got everything done. It was a very successful day. I'm super, super excited to find out what those girls are gonna be, which ones are A2. Hopefully, fingers crossed, at least one will be, so that we can keep that one for our benefit. But we hope y'all enjoyed this video.
Happy homesteading, y'all.